Appraisal 2, Chapter 2. In this chapter, we will continue our discussion of economic principles which influence the value of real estate. We will review the following principles: increasing and diminishing returns, plottage, regression and progression, substitution, supply and demand, increasing and diminishing returns. The principle of increasing and diminishing returns is somewhat related to the principle of contribution we discussed in Chapter 1. If an improvement to a property increases the value of the property, the improvement is said to have increasing returns. If an improvement does not increase the value of the property, the improvement is said to have diminishing returns. The principle of increasing and diminishing returns states that every property has a value in which further improvements will not increase the value of the property. Let's examine a remodeling project. A homeowner's property is 50 years old and has not been remodeled since it was built initially. The list of improvements which could be made to the property is extensive. The wiring, plumbing, and heating could be replaced. The roof certainly needs to be replaced. The windows could be replaced, as could all the flooring and wall coverings. You can imagine a complete list of improvements which could be made on the home. The principle of increasing and diminishing returns states that many of those improvements will improve the value of the property. However, at some point, the improvements will cease to improve the value of the property. Assume after a complete remodel, the owner decides to change all the door handles to an extremely expensive type of door handle. Most likely, this improvement will not increase the value of the property. The door handles are said to have diminishing returns. However, the other improvements most likely improve the value of the home. For example, replacing all the windows would have increased the value of the home. The windows are said to have increasing returns. Property owners should be extremely careful when planning improvements to their property. Sub-improvements simply will not improve the value of a property. Improvements may also improve a property to the point that it does not conform to its surroundings. If a property is improved to the point that it does not conform to its surroundings, both the principle of increasing and decreasing returns and the principle of conformity apply. These principles would negatively impact the value of the property. Plottage. Plottage involves combining multiple properties into one property. If the new larger property is worth more than the sum of the individual properties, plottage applies. The process of merging two properties together is known as assemblage. Assume a parcel A is worth $50,000 and parcel B is worth $50,000. If parcel A and parcel B were combined into one parcel, parcel C, the new parcel would be worth $150,000. The process of combining parcels A and B is assemblage. The principle of plottage accounts for the increase in value of parcel C. Many reasons exist which would explain why plottage would hold true. Assume a city will not allow new construction on any piece of property smaller than 1/2 acre. Two adjacent parcels are 1/4 acres each. Separately, the parcels are not worth much because the city will not allow building on the lots. However, if the two parcels were merged together, the assemblage would create a legal building lot. The new building lot would most likely be worth more than the sum of the two individual lots. Perhaps the city has a requirement that in order to build a condominium complex, you must have a minimum lot size of 2 acres. A major college is located within the city boundaries, making condominiums very attractive. An older residential neighborhood near the college campus consists of many older homes, some of which are for sale. Assume each of the older homes is worth $100,000. A 2-acre piece of ground on which condominiums could be built is worth $500,000. A developer finds 4 adjacent homes in a neighborhood, each of which sits on a 1/2-acre lot. If the developer is able to purchase all 4 homes, they may then combine or assemble the 4 homes into one property. The 4 homes cost the developer $400,000. However, the value of the 2-acre lot created by the assemblage will be worth $500,000. This is another example of plottage. Regression and Progression. The principles of regression and progression are related to the principle of conformity we discussed in Chapter 1. If a property is located among lower valued properties, the value of the subject will most likely be adversely affected. On the other hand, if the property is surrounded by more expensive properties, the value of the property is most likely to be positively affected. Assume a home is 8,000 square feet, but is built in a neighborhood of 2,000 square foot homes. The 8,000 square foot home is built using only the finest and highest quality materials, while the surrounding homes are built of lower quality materials. The value of the larger home is negatively affected by the fact that the surrounding homes are smaller and of lower quality. This is an example of regression.